All right, so I wanted to make a recording for an orientation video for my online classes. I always like to just introduce myself and say hello, and that I'm Kim Suwatch. And I just wanted to show you around the class just a little bit, just to get you situated in any online class, since I didn't get to see you face to face. So here's our homepage, and this is for A&P lecture. I'll do the lab in just a little bit, but this is for the lecture portion. And with the W4 section, we're online, we're fully online, and we are 8 weeks. So we are a short session for the W4 online AP1. So time management absolutely is important. So we got time management. I really want to be able to let y'all know what's due, when it's due, so everyone can manage their time the best. So we've got announcements over here on the left, and the first thing we do is check out the syllabus. Please check out the syllabus. Take the syllabus quiz, the mandatory syllabus quiz using Respondus Lockdown Browser Monitor. That is going to get you situated with that software, because we use that software not only for the syllabus quiz, but we'll use them for the lecture tests too. So check that out. Um, and then again, if you need to contact me, it's there. Then we got our full on welcome message there with the syllabus link, another link to the syllabus quiz, and calendars right smack in the middle so you can't miss it. And this content browser widget is just ridiculous and tiny. So we're just going to go up to the tabs up top. So we got the home page. Let's check out the syllabus really fast. So with this syllabus, it's going to start off with the contact information up front, on how to get in touch with me. So we got the course description, instructor information. So this is my office phone, but I also have a Google Voice number, which is probably better if you need to get a hold of me, call me, send me a text. You can do the Google Voice number that is in the signature of my email. I may also have it in the webpage that we're going to go over on the getting started stuff. I may have it there too. But you can always get a hold of me on the Highlands email. That is my favorite email. The Highlands email comes to my cell phone on Outlook. And so I get that one. If you email me, I know that you emailed me. But if you email me through D2L, I may not get that until I'm physically logged in. So maybe you emailed me on like Friday night and you had a question, but I didn't log in until like Saturday because I married and I got 3 kids and they're teenagers and they're all doing their thing. So we have sports every weekend. So maybe I didn't log on until Sunday and I didn't see your question. So if you really need to get a hold of me, the Highlands email is the best way to do it. But of course, I will be checking the D2L email too. Office hours. These are the office hours that I have set. So I'm teaching on campus in Cartersville on Tuesday, Thursdays, for Majors Bio 2. And then I've got online classes for all the rest. So I've got online office hours on Mondays and Wednesdays. But if those times don't work for you, because I know many of y'all are working full time and those times may not work for you. But if you need to schedule a meeting with me and those times don't work for you, please reach out over email. But if you want to schedule a meeting with me, here is the link to do it. The book time with bookings is the best way to get a hold of me and make sure that we are blocking out that time for you, because I have lots of other students that will come to me for advising, and I want to make sure that my time is dedicated to y'all, and not a student that I don't know at all. So if you want to meet for office hours, to prepare and study for the test, to go over a past test, whatever you need, and we can talk about advising too, book a time slot, and that's where you can do that there. Communication, I try and get things responded to within 24 hours, if not that day. The next day, hopefully, is always my goal, Monday through Thursday. On the weekend, it'll be a little bit longer. Like I said, I've got stuff going on, and I'm sure you have stuff going on the weekends too. So on the weekend, it'll be a little bit longer than it will be compared normally during the week. Required materials. The study textbook for this class is the AP Anatomy and Physiology book from OpenStax. They have a second edition out, which is really nice. They switched it from one big thick textbook to two textbooks that kind of divide AP1 and AP2, which is really nice. It's fully online and it is absolutely 100% free, and I have embedded it into the class for you. So yes, you can go to OpenStax and download it. I do suggest doing that. Having your own version of the PDF of the textbook is always helpful, but you don't have to. I do have it embedded in the class. the CLOs for the class with the objectives, attendance, definitely log in. I do need everyone to log in this class. And please complete the mandatory syllabus quiz. The syllabus quiz is going to be due on Friday the 16th, which is the last day for add drop. So everybody should be in by Friday at midnight, and hopefully you have already completed the mandatory syllabus quiz. I know some of y'all already have because it's first day of class and I have looked. Please do log in, complete the mandatory syllabus quiz, and then we have other assignments that are coming up that are also in the schedule. The grading point scale at GHC is 10 points. Like if you're at other institutions, there may be a plus minus, like Georgia State has a plus or minus, but we are not. We are a 10-point grading scale. If you are within 1 point, I know this is AP and AP is super competitive. All of my nursing and dental hygiene students, y'all are, I know, competing to get into nursing school and dental hygiene school. So, I have a small rule, the line in the sand where I draw that if you are within 1 point of the next grade level, I will round you up, but you have to be within 1 point. If you are a 78, you're still a C. If you're an 88, you're still a C. It's not fair that an 88 would make the same grade as somebody who made a 98. That's not the same. So my line in the sand is if you're within 1 point, if you're within 1 point, I will round you up to the next one. Assessments. How do we make an A in this class? Right now, everybody has an A. Everybody's starting off with an A. Every chapter, we cover 16 chapters, and I'm going to take your top 14 of the 16 chapters, and each chapter is going to have a lecture quiz. So I have recorded lectures. They are, I'm going to show you in the content later, but they are recorded lectures. They're from 2020. They're when COVID hit, so they are a little dated. But I still feel like they're really important and helpful to get a lecture in. That is recorded for you and you can watch whenever you want. So I do have recorded lectures as well as all the other content for each chapter in there. And at the end of the lecture, it actually embedded in the lecture. If you watch the lectures and embedded in the PowerPoints, it'll like quiz question 1. So there are questions for each chapter, and there, if you are going through material, you should be able to answer those questions pretty easily. So there are lecture quiz questions for every chapter. We have 16 chapters. Drop your worst 2, and keep your top 14. And those will be 20% of your grade. Then we have exam discussions. So in order to get prepared for the exam, we're covering lots of material. And so I have a discussion for each exam on a topic that you found of interest within those, 4 chapters of material. So there's 16 chapters. Exam 1 is 4, exam 2 is 4 chapters, so on and so on. So we have a discussion, and those 4 discussions, there were 10 points apiece, and total out of your course grade, they'll be 15%. So don't forget about the discussions. Don't forget about the discussions, please. And then, of course, we have the lecture exams. Those guys are going to be 10% apiece. There are 4 exams, they're 10% apiece. Each exam covers 4 chapters, like I was just telling y'all about. I have a lot of multiple choice, and matching is the majority of the questions on the lecture exams. I also do audio reviews for those, so you can also go through your notes and prepare for that. But lecture exams are 10% a piece, and they will count for a total of 40% of your overall course grade. And then we got the final exam. The final exam is going to be 25% of your course grade. Regular tests are 100 questions at a point apiece. The final exam is 150 questions, but you have more time to take it, so time per question is better. The lecture test, you get 75 minutes to take the lecture test, just like you would in a face-to-face environment. We have an hour and 15 minutes. It's the same for an online environment too. So I treat y'all the same as I do for face-to-face. So we have a little bit talking about the lecture tests and how they work, the lecture quizzes and how they work, the discussion posts, and the final exam. I usually don't take late work. If something happens, if you've got extenuating circumstances, I have been in the hospital for the last 2 weeks for COVID, something like that. That would be an extenuating circumstance, and we would absolutely help you out there. But if, I just forgot about the lecture quiz this day, it's a 0. It's a 0. So please, please, please be familiar with what is due and when it's due. So I do have a schedule here in the syllabus. I've also got it embedded in the class, and I've got it in the calendar, and I'm going to have it in the announcements too. So hopefully between all 4 of those places, there's no way you didn't know what was coming and what was due. So here is the schedule that we got right now for lecture, and it is fast. We cover everything fast in an 8-week class. So this very first week, we're covering chapter 1. So the very first week we're covering chapter 1, and we got our lecture quiz on chapter 1's content, as well as the attendance quiz that's going to be due on Friday. So everything is due either on a Friday or a Monday. The exception is Labor Day, so I bumped that to a Tuesday. But everything else is Friday and Monday. And everything's due at midnight at 11:59 p.m. Please don't wait until the end. Don't wait until 11:50 to log in and do your thing. Please, please. Stuff happens. Internet connections go down. Technology has its problems. So please don't wait until the end to do your whatever it is that's due. Um, Okay, so here's all the schedule for everything. So again, this Friday, please do the mandatory attendance quiz using Respondus Lockdown Browser. And then we've also got the lecture quiz that's also due Friday at midnight. And then next week, we start slow and then we ramp up. So on Monday, we have one chapter. So we'll be studying over the weekend. Can you do these things early? Absolutely. Yes, you can do your quiz early. So if you knocked out chapter 1 and chapter 2 this week, great. You could do that. But the chapter two's quiz is going to be due on Monday. And then the following week, next week, we're going to cover two chapters, in addition to the Monday chapter. Sorry, it's a total of 3 chapters next week. So we'll cover chapters 2 on Monday. 3 and 4 will be due on Friday. So that will be all of the first exam material because we cover 4 chapters each exam. That'll be all 4 chapters. And you can see when they're due. We also have that discussion post due the same day as the exam. So please knock that out ahead of time. Don't wait until the night before the exam to do the discussion post. You could do that well in advance if you choose to do the discussion post. And then we got exam 1. Exams will be using, again, Respondus Lockdown Browser and Monitor, just like we do for the attendance quiz. So you will log in and do your environment scan, like scan the room. I expect to see you scan the room. I will upload a file that kind of walks you through it too. I expect you to be looking, at the computer, just like I'm looking at the computer right now. I don't want you, like looking away off to the side, because then I'm like, what is that person looking at? And that makes me suspicious. And I don't want to have to be suspicious of anybody and ask you if you're cheating, because I will. I do watch these videos. It does watch you and records you as you take your test. So please scan your environment. If you want scrap paper, I do allow a blank white sheet of paper if you want to doodle, write stuff down. I know several of my students in face-to-face environments also like to have a blank sheet of paper. So I have no problem with a blank sheet of paper. When you're doing your environment scan, just show me the paper when you do that. And then put, everything else away, just your pencil or pen, your piece of paper, and log on in and do your stuff for your lecture exam. So that is how the first exam is going to run. It'll be on the 26th, which is 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away. Yeah, it's coming up. Everything moves quickly. So here is the rest of the schedule that you can see here in the syllabus. And then it also has it down here, but these dates are a little weird. Technical specs, the stuff for Respondus Lockdown Browser and Monitor, that will need to be either on your computer, a desktop or a laptop, or you can also use an iPad. You can use an iPad for Respondus. That works for that too. If your computer is acting up, you can go to the Cartersville campus, which is where I teach out of, and get a loaner laptop from the library. They can loan you a laptop. So if you just need it for the day to complete the syllabus quiz, or you just need it to complete exam 1, come in on the time that works for you during the window that exam 1 is open, and borrow that laptop if something goes up. I cannot control technical issues. Like I I can barely get through my own. I can kind of walk you through some stuff, but IT is the one to talk to about technical issues. Um, Exam policies are here. So again, 75 minutes to do the test. It will be on Respondus Lockdown Browser. They are monitored and I do watch them. So please wear appropriate clothing and try not to eat or drink when you're taking the test. Do it just like you were in class. Um, if I see suspicious behavior, I will contact you and I will give you a warning, and then after that warning, then I go straight to the judicial process and turn you in. And nobody wants to do that. Nobody wants to go through that. So please, please study. Come to office hours if you have questions, and we can go through stuff. But don't cheat. Don't cheat. Don't be that person. Because I will turn you in, and I don't want to have to do that, but I will, and I have done it several times. Um, All right, so if something happens, document an emergency, all of that good stuff. Grades should be updated in D2L. Everything's electronic and in D2L, and I do have D2L calculate your average constantly. So as soon as grades go in, you should be able to know, what your final calculated grade is. I will also show you something else about that if I can remember later after we get done with the syllabus. If something goes down and you can't take your test for whatever reason, the test is open for like 48, 72 hours. It's open for a really long time. But if something happens, and you miss that, and it's documented emergency, get in touch with me as soon as possible, please, and we can try and reschedule. You get one makeup with a documented emergency, and we can make that happen. Then we got other important dates and lots of resources down here. All the links are here in the syllabus. All right, so let's bounce back to the class. So we went through all of that stuff. Let's go through content. Oh, I was just telling now about the grades. Okay, so let me show you grades. So when midterm rolls around and you're like stay or go, I don't know. Should I go? What can I make in this class? Can I still hang out in this class? Because I don't want to scare you. I hate to be that person that's like, "Mm." But this is a hard class. Legitimately, this is a very difficult class, and you are taking this class in 8 weeks. So it's gonna need to be your focus. I am also an online student and working full time, so I get that time management is important. This is gonna take a lot of time. This class is not one that you can blow off and procrastinate until the week of, the night before. You cannot. You cannot. You have to prep and study every day for this class. So just a heads up. So if you get to the midterm and the semester and you're like, I want to know if I can still make that A. I really want to make an A and I want to know that I can do it. So let me show you. Over here, under your profile menu, there is status. I want to say it's status. And you can click status and it's going to say, no, it's progress. It's called progress. You can click the progress button and it will say maximum, current average, minimum. Current average is exactly what it sounds like. It's what your average is in class right now. Maximum is going to put a 100% grade for every grade that you still haven't done yet. So, what is mathematically possible? If I made 100 on everything else, could I still make XYZ grade? That's what the maximum is. So you can look in there. So go over here and then look at your progress and go in and check and see where am I sitting right now as my class average? What can I still achieve under the maximum section? And then the minimum is the exact opposite. The minimum is going to throw a 0 in for every grade from here on out. And you don't want to look at that. But if you're curious at midterm, at the end of the semester, where am I sitting and what can I still make? That's where you go. So just check that out. And it's true for every class at Georgia Islands. You can look at that. All right, back to contents. So we got the welcome here, start here page. And so we've got all the good stuff in here. I put this in lectures, I put this in lab. I try and give all my students, no matter what class you were taking, the same bag of tricks, if you will, because not everybody learns the same. I particularly, me, what works for me, I will, if I have a face-to-face lecture, I will sit in that lecture and I will record that lecture and I will take notes and then I will go back home and take that recording and make better notes from that recording. I will listen to it, in the car, especially if it's like a test review or something like that. I will listen to that until I can repeat that thing back on those important things. So if that works for you, do that. If you really like flashcards, AP1 in the lab portion of the class has tons of memorization, so much memorization. When we get to bones and the bone markings and all the names, lots of memorization. Same with muscles. So if you want to use flashcards or Quizlet, those are also great resources. Study out loud and study with a group. I know this is an online class, but sometimes my students, even if they're face-to-face or they're online, they'll get together, they'll make a group me, and they will meet in person and do like a study session. So you can absolutely do that if you want to come to Cartersville campus. We have multiple study rooms in the STEAM building if you want to. There's also a STEM room in the STEAM building that has all the models. So if you're like, I would really love to see this, you know, skeleton, all the bones. I want to see this leg model in person. You can do that. We have several models in the STEM room in Cartersville, and that room is open anytime the campus is open. So you can come to the Cartersville campus and look at the bones, and look at some of the muscles and those kind of models. I don't think every single muscle model is in there, but some of them are in there in that room, and it's open whenever the campus is open. So just a little tip. So whatever helps you be successful in this class. I just want to give you all the stuff. And at the very bottom, it's talking about Bloom's taxonomy and how the questions are set up. So a lot of my questions in our lecture tests are easy peasy, remember, regurgitate, what is that term questions. But some of the questions are also in this section up here with the analyze. Some of them are up there too. So you'll have to, a patient comes in with blah, 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 and you would need to analyze that situation and come up with the answer. So I do have a few of those too. So it's not all easy peasy. It's a little mix of both of those on the lecture test that's coming up. So yeah, that is the start here page. We've also got, did I put the schedule in here? I did not right now, but I'll do it. I'm going to put a page in here that's just the schedule. So you can have that and bookmark that too for yourself. All right, so let's go over the rest of the content. I chunked the content in by exam. So exam 1, 4 chapters, exam 2, 4 chapters, on and on. Within the chapter, I have stuff in order of priority. So the textbook is the backbone of the course. So that OpenStax textbook that I showed y'all that y'all can download, it's here. It's embedded in the class. So you can absolutely read that for yourself. Please do. I have gone through the textbook and created my own chapter outlines. It was me and it was a group of us, honestly, that helped create the chapter outlines. But we have chapter outlines, and those are what I feel like were the important chunks of information in the chapter. So chapter outlines are like the boiled down versions of the chapters. Then for my lecture, I put in all my PowerPoints. So I always like to give y'all whatever I'm lecturing on. So this is the PowerPoint because sometimes I put links to videos or websites or whatever in the PowerPoints. And so I want to give those to y'all, so y'all have those resources too. These are the videos I told y'all I made during COVID. So they're a little old, but I still think they're really good. So it's me lecturing at you like I would in a face-to-face environment, going over these concepts, going over these things. So don't hate on me because they're, from 2020, but they are still pretty valuable stuff. So we have all of chapter 1's lecture videos there. I've also got a study guide for you. So the study guide is going to go over important concepts that you need to know. It will also have terms on there. So don't get too bogged down in creating flashcards for the terms and not answer the questions that are also at the bottom of the study guide. That's a helpful resource. Another helpful resource that I've gotten here are practice quizzes. These are helpful quizzes. I don't give the answers to these because there's some instructors that use these as homework. So if you are doing the practice quiz and you're not quite sure what the answers are, email me and I'll let you know what you got right and what you got wrong on the practice quizzes. But they're here for you. They're really great at terminology. Memorization on the anatomy terms, practice quizzes are great for those. And then if there are any other videos that I found that I thought were kind of cool and applied to that chapter, I've got them at the very bottom. So most important stuff up here, least important stuff down at the bottom. And I've done that for every single chapter. So all the chapters 1 through 16. So that's where the content is at. If you ever want to jump to a quiz, go to assessments and quizzes. Those are there. Discussions will be in there. Assignments, all of these are just quick links to get right where you need to go. Communication, you can definitely email me. You can see I've got an email that I need to get to in the class. But again, I really prefer the Highlands email only because that goes to me faster. And then grades, you can see the grades should be in here. For the very first one is a syllabus quiz, and that's a bonus point. For those, I will use those towards lecture quizzes. If something happened and you missed a lecture quiz, you forgot a lecture quiz that was due, and you got a 0 for it, that's going to sub in for that. The lecture quiz will. The syllabus quiz will sub in for a lecture quiz. So we got all the lecture quizzes. Those are 20% of your grade. We got the exam discussions. Those are going to be 15% of your grade. And then we've got the 4 exams. Those are 40% of your grade. And then the final exam, I don't know if you can see it. There it is. It's 25% of your grade. So that is how the course is going to break down for us on this online 8-week AP1 class. So if you have any questions, please reach out to my Highlands email. You can also call my Google Voice, text it. I think I have it either in the lecture or I have it in the lab section for my Google Voice number. So if you need me there, let me know. But we're going to have a great semester, and please do reach out. Again, this is a tough class, and I don't want y'all to just ghost me and I never hear from y'all again. Please reach out. Let me know if you have questions. You're going to have questions for this class, and I really want to help you and make sure that you make the best grade possible in this class. So let's have a good semester, and I hope to hear from y'all later.